Hey everybody, it's the Knitty Professor, and tonight I wanted to talk about knitting on airplanes. And I have Mistletoe to accompany me here. So as you can imagine, given you've noticed that I podcast in both English and German, I am kind of an avid traveler, and you can end up spending a lot of time sitting in airplanes, sitting in waiting areas, and when you're doing that, you either want to read or knit. At least that's or pet a cat, but of course they don't allow that at the airport, right, Mistletoe? So especially if you're kind of a beginner knitter and you're wondering, is that an option? Can I? Hey, calm down. Can I knit on an airplane? And this is a question that I thought about right away as soon as I figured out that, man, I really want to just knit like crazy. In fact, the first time I began a scarf project, which I should actually show you here, but I had it on wooden needles because I was thinking to myself, if I want to work on this going home, I might need to, watch kind of how I'm going about this. So everything I'm going to share with you is just based on my own experience. And I've been very fortunate because my negative experiences as far as like taking knitting needles and things like that have been few and far between. So I've been pretty successful. I'm proof that yes, you can knit during air travel. Hi, Mistletoe. Yeah, can you, Sally Forth, there we go. So the question is how. So here's something I've been working on lately, and this is on double pointed needles that are kind of long. To be honest, I might hesitate a little bit to bring this with me on an airplane just because the needles are kind of long. On the other hand, when I think about it though, they're kind of like pencils, right? Is somebody gonna not allow you through security because, hey, yeah, be careful, girl. Because you have a pen or a pencil on you? I mean, what's the difference, right? This, to me, it seems kind of similar, these long wooden needles and sharp pencils or drawing pencils or something like that. So I'd be curious if any of you, if you've had experience where you had needles kind of like these, where, they're like, no, you're going to kill somebody. So I've been hesitant to take needles that are this big. Hello, Miss Toe. Take a big stretch. That's right. Mistletoe's getting big. She's kind of I don't know. My son and I were talking about her the other day. It's like, she's getting kind of fat. Hey. And we were like, should we worry about this? So I don't know. She seems pretty happy, as you can tell. She really wants to help with the filming here. So anyhow, I've had really good luck knitting socks on planes. So I'll let me finish up this little section here, and I'll show you kind of what I mean while Mistletoe wags her tail in front of the camera because she's a cat and that's fun. By the way, this is the latest sweater project I'm really working on. Those stripes are coming along. Those of you who are kind of following me on that particular journey. So this is a very typical project bag for me to bring along on an airplane, and it has a very typical project in it, namely socks that are kind of mindless. So I have had, again, this is just my experience, right? If you have different experience, let us know. But I've had, hi, Mistletoe, calm down. I've had zero problem bringing this kind of DPN and a sock project on a plane. And I've done it domestically and internationally. I've done it in all kinds of different cities, small and large in the United States. I've brought this to Canada. I've brought this to Germany, Norway, Denmark, Hungary. And so far, I haven't been told, nope, that's not allowed. And, these needles they're pretty small, right? You can liken them to toothpicks. Now, they're also either made of wood or bamboo. I've never once, yeah, look out, honey. They can't see me. Brought metal needles in my, on the plane bag, maybe underneath, right? But I tend not to, I don't put bags under the plane because guess what? I can't afford it. I don't want to do that. So I'm always really careful. Hey, Mistletoe, can you move? Good girl. I'm always really careful to choose wooden needles that I feel like people are going to look at and they're going to be like, that's not a problem. In fact, I've even heard people claim that they like people to knit. Watch this, Sparky. To knit on a flight because it relaxes them, and they would rather have passengers who are relaxed and contented than they would passengers who are nervous and not contented. So from that standpoint, and this could just be hearsay, if you work for TSA and you know better, let me know. I should ask my daughter-in-law's mother, because she's a TSA agent in New York. But I've actually heard it said, maybe I read it on the internet. It's one of those things like, oh, I read that on the internet, right? But the actually knitting and crocheting and that kind of thing is encouraged in air travel because it does help to maintain a passenger's calm. And I can attest to that. So even while Mistletoe is here prowling around, and to be honest, I have a dog humping me right now, I'm knitting and it's okay. So, hey, don't chew that. She's trying to eat the yarn. So this is a very typical project for me. Hey, I'm just gonna move you. Yeah, your purring is very nice, Mistletoe. This kind of project bag, I've just got, my ball of yarn. In fact, I've been known to, in order to minimize the size of my luggage, hey, to I'll take a hank of yarn and I'll fold it into I'll roll it into 2 halves, so a 100-gram hank, and I'll have 2 50-gram balls, and I'll know, well, I'm not going to finish a whole sock in a week's time when I'm touring Denmark or whatever. So that way I can bring a really small project bag, just have 50 grams of yarn with me and the sock I'm knitting on and my 5 DPNs. And of course, hey, yeah, I gotta pray that none of my DPNs will break. So what I could do, and what I have done in the past, is to bring an additional one. I have had needles fall when I'm on the plane, and on occasion it's been kind of a trick to find it. So that's something you want to keep in mind as you're preparing Mistletoe. She's rubbing her head on my camera prop, so that's why the camera's moving. That's something to keep in mind. You're getting your fur on my nose, girl. There we go. Keep that in mind. You might want to bring a couple of extra wooden needles with you. So I've had other luck knitting hats on the plane, so I'm trying to open this tin. It's a pretty tin, by the way. I think I got some German gingerbread in that one time. Or maybe I got it at Goodwill. I don't know. In any case, here's something really cute that I got while I was in Copenhagen from Tante Grün. The lady was so kind to me when I was filming in there. She's like, here, have a souvenir. I'm like, I'll take it. So I personally, I would hesitate to bring something. I'm going to try to hold this against something so we can see it. Something like these metal needles. I would not bring that. I would be afraid. I would, right, don't think that it would fly, to use a metaphor. On the other hand, again, we'll put this in here. I have brought this kind of wooden needle along to make a hat and have had no problem. Nobody told me no. So, I mean, we could almost go through all these needles and pick out the ones that would fly, to use a metaphor. Also, another good choice, great choice, if you have, and I have several pairs of these because I actually like them, plastic needles. Look at those. There's some really cool ones that you can get from, I think it's Knit Picks. I can't swear to it. But plastic would also work great. And there are a lot of plastic needles out there. I have a whole set of plastic, what do you call it? Interchangeable needles in the round that I got from Hobby Lobby. So I said it. Don't get mad at me. But they were there, and it was actually a set that I love. So, and you probably, I'm guessing you could maybe get along, you might be able to get away with that, right? So that is not sharp. I don't know. It's metal. I might personally avoid bringing it because I don't like to have problems when I'm, in security and stuff like that with TSA. But there are wooden crochet needles, so if you crochet, then that might be an option. What I wouldn't bring, probably, is, I probably wouldn't bring these. I would not bring these. I wouldn't. Now, if you have had experience and you've brought this kind of knitting needle with you, let us know, because I personally, no, I would just be afraid. Would I bring long wooden ones? Probably. I mean, these could just break. They're like, you know, they're kind of like toothpicks. Of course, these are kind of small. This set here is a size, these are 2s? They don't look like 2s. But in any case, it says 2 on them, so they might be 2s. They're wooden. Wood, bamboo, wouldn't have a problem. I don't know, can you bring these? I don't know. I have never knit anything with such jumbo needles. I'm pretty sure I got that when I bought like a whole slew of them at Goodwill, and I was like, yeah, they're in there. I'll keep them for now. Now here's another question. So what about scissors? I would not bring these on a plane. I think if you tried to bring these through TSA, they would confiscate them. Now, if you have the preschool scissors, however, with the rounded points that are made for kindergartners, I have done that, had no problem. Well, I had a minor problem. So I had my luggage, and the guy was like, oh, you know, looking at it and stuff. At that point, I had a needlepoint project with me, and I was creative enough at least to bring scissors with a rounded tip. And he looked at me and he was like, you're bringing scissors with you? And then he looked twice at the rounded point. He was like, he didn't say anything else. So it was fine. But I wouldn't, I wouldn't bring the stork scissors. I'll tell you what is perfect though, and that is to bring a pair of nail clippers. Nail clippers, I've never had any question. Nail clippers, even the ones with, you know, that little file that you can unfold, even that little pointy thing. I guess they're so flimsy, especially with the nail clippers we get today. So nail clippers are a perfect solution to clipping yarn. They work great. I've used them over and over again for years, taken them on the plane, and as an alternative to scissors. So that's something else that I would highly recommend. So, you know, let me know if you can think of any other pointers as far as knitting on a plane. The other thing that comes to mind is the, you know, the people you sit by. I've never had anyone get mad that I was knitting next to them. I've probably had people look at me, you know, but if I'm just calmly doing this, especially if it's in my lap, I'm to the point where if I'm knitting stockinette, I don't really have to pay a whole lot of attention. So I can kind of, you know, hide it way down in my lap. You know, it also kind of keeps me awake. So when the peanuts come, or the coffee, usually the coffee is pretty desired, then the knitting can help me stay awake. But I'll usually either knit or I'll read on a plane. And like I say, it doesn't matter where I fly to. And then it's such a huge stress releaser when you have issues with your flight. You know, for example, it's delayed or something's going on. I can stay calm much easier when I'm knitting than I could if I was, you know, just sitting on my duff and not doing anything. And reading is the same thing. I like to read knitting novels. That's why I'm writing knitting novels. And by the way, if you're an agent, let me know, because I've got something for you. So still looking for that elusive agent. But in any case, reading or knitting on the plane. I'm sure if you crochet, let us know. It could be a good conversation starter too. So that's another thing that can be kind of cool. People are like, oh, you know, what are you making there? So, but most time I find that people are, they could care less. You know, they have their own agenda. They have their cat to think about, right, Miss Little? Boop, 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 boop. A lot of people, they whip out their laptop, or, you know, they want to watch a movie or whatever. So, in any case, my experience with knitting on planes has been positive. It's been kind of a lifesaver as far as keeping me distracted, keeping me calm, and giving me something to do, and even keeping me alert. I think that's, you know, it's really pretty much all I have to say on the topic. Just watch what you bring. You know, if you've had luck bringing metal needles or something on a plane, or if you've got some like horror story, it'd be nice if you'd share it with us so we could all learn. Because again, all I can tell you is my experience, and I do try to be very judicious what I bring with me as far as my knitting tools. Hey, quiet. Knitting tools and equipment on a plane. So I can tell the dogs are getting a little restless. It's so cold outside that I can't walk them, and that's a problem. Mistletoe could care less about going outside. She just wants to gain weight in here. But literally the low tonight is supposed to be -24 Fahrenheit. The high tomorrow is like -8. So I'll be doing a lot of knitting on President's Day, and hopefully you will too. So Let us know your experiences with knitting on planes, your kernels of wisdom, and have a great President's Day, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.